Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in this cloudy world after an episode spent on a couple small builds around the base. Our first one, which took up the bulk of the episode, was this little kitchen area, and I am really pleased with how it came out. It's just nice and cozy. I'm getting mud on the tabletop again, that's fine. We have a nice view of the outdoors, and it just sort of adds a bit of elevation difference to our base. The second project of last episode was sort of a two-parter. We built this little balcony first to overlook our little lagoon and our budding forest. Oh, we got some bamboo growing in the water. I didn't know it could do that. Well, new mission. And we also added in a front door, which I am very happy we have a front door now because, yeah, no more random dirt block. And I am just very happy with how this whole area is coming out. And I hope you are too. So, with the focus on a couple small spaces last episode, I kind of thought that this episode might be a great chance to kind of continue that momentum and energy and work on all the small things that need to happen in the base before the world tour in next episode. We have a lot of little things that just have gone unfinished. We have these doorways here and here. We have this little weird space here. We have lanterns littering the floor. And at night, you'll notice that we have a very, very dark ascent up to our forge up there, and that could use some attention too. So I think those sort of main things are going to be the focus of the episode today, as well as maybe filling out a couple other decorative odds and ends in some and all of these locations. Now, one place that is not small, but I would like to get to, but probably won't happen, is this hallway. Because this is actually a pretty big build, like size-wise. Even though you'll be repeating a lot of the same patterns down here, it's a lot of work, and I don't think we're going to have time to do it in this episode. So this hallway is probably going to be excluded from today's small spaces / small things builds, but if there are a few extra minutes, we might get at least a bit of an idea down in these first couple bays here of what we want to do for the rest of the hallway, and I can then finish that out at some point later. So I think it's time for us to get started on these small things, so let's get to it. So I think the first thing I want to tackle are these doorways here and here. But yeah, let's get these two doorways in and done, and get them off our plates, and then we'll probably move on to what's going on in this room, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I have left these squares in the ceiling, and they've been this way for actually a while now, and this is because there's something I want to do here, and we're going to get that done today. So, I want to, first of all, grab my hammer and chisel. We are going to get rid of that, for one. And I think I'm going to leave this sort of rocky bit in place because it's part of the mountain that we built into. But just this spot right here needed to get removed. Let's go ahead and take out this extra stone. We'll replace it with some basalt. And done. Oh, and I think, you know what? I'm also going to take up these floorboards, just so we have a sort of double layer of basalt to be consistent with that door frame and this door frame here. So with that done, I think we need to get some ebony and some bamboo, and we are going to chisel our way up and around these door frames and finish them off. I might even put in some doors, just more of these rough doors, just for decoration. think there's one more touch I want to add to this room before we call it largely complete. There are a few longer term things I want to do. I want to find a better place for our spare bed, because sometimes I do need to sleep just 7 hours. And I do want to move these things out of here at some point. I guess I could use one of these chests, couldn't I? Not that one, apparently. Let's just move you over here. There we go. Now we can get rid of you, which is nice, and maybe just move you somewhere else. Maybe we could even find a spot for you up here. About outside the door. Perfect. That then leaves the question of what to do about this chest and this quern. Currently has something in it, looks like. What we could do is we could put that on the wall and remove this guy. We could just put the quern up there instead of having it on the floor. See how it looks. Hard to notice, but it's right there. And that way it's right in our kitchen. We can use it easily. It is out of the way. Also very dark in here. Thank you, indoor fog. And maybe what we can do with our chest over here is we can just sort of repurpose some of this. Move the chiseled junk in here. And we can just move all of these over to here. And I'm keeping these separate from our other things because these are things that I need to come back to on a regular basis. And I don't really quite yet have a good spot for them out here. Aside from maybe on this end of things. Can I put a rusty gear in there or not? As I recall, we can't put temporal gears in there, but we can check. Nope. Oh, we can put rusty gears in here. Okay. So maybe we could move at least some of these over. Let's do the bottom one. And we'll put our rusty gears and our regular gears, and by regular I mean temporal, as well as all of these cogs and our money-making stuff into this bottom chest over here. And what that does for us is that frees up some space for some planters and the trees and flowers that will go in them. So I was thinking here in front of these posts would be good. Of course, it's hard to tell now that everything's completely dark. It could also be better to put them in front of the doorways, but I'm not sure yet. You know what? I think I do like the doorway idea better, because that way they're a little more out of the way. Put them here, they kind of stick out into the room, and I don't like that. Even though it does add some depth, I think it's a clumsy depth. So let's do here, and let's maybe move this crystal. We can move this bucket to here. Move this crystal. That thing is hard. And we'll just do that. And then we can move this wood pile to somewhere else. Like in the chest. Done. So now we have space to put some odds and ends. So can I put you in here? Oh, I can! Oh, that's cute. I like that. I didn't know I could do that. But you know what? I think I might put you there. And we'll use this one for a tree. Yes, I think I like that a little bit better. That is cute. I do like that a lot. Oh, ferns. Ooh. That's vibrant. Let's get a splash of dirt, apparently. I guess we won't use the grass. A splash of color with some poppies there, and then over here in the corner. And then we'll do one more bonsai right there. Yeah, I think I like it. That is very green. Okay, so that is this room pretty well done. I think I'm happy with it. We have our kitchen, we have a nice big open floor. We don't have a bed in the corner anymore. And we just have a bunch of handy little functional areas. We have some spare storage. We have our dyeing area over here, which can also be for another later on. We have some honey, our chisel copier. And then, if we ever need it, we have space to put down other odds and ends. Things like experiments and chiseling. And I have been using this as sort of a chisel studio as well. So, there we have it. Now, I think I want to turn my attention to this room, our big storage room, and in particular, the lanterns that litter the floor. Now, one thing that I was going to do is that I wanted to put these lanterns up here, maybe even up higher, like there. The only problem with that is that doing so makes the center floor area susceptible to drifter spawns, especially right in here. And for a long while, we really couldn't do much about that, even if I put sort of corresponding lanterns over here. However, we now have a boatload of unprocessed silver right in this chest here. So we now have the ability to make silver plates that we can slide right into these lanterns. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to set up the lanterns, get them in place, and then we're going to go smelt some silver and brighten these up. Now, I did mention that over here I have these sort of squares dug out of the ceiling, and that's because we're going to put some big columns over here, because this is a very heavy stone mountain, so we need correspondingly strong pillars, keeping it from collapsing on us, as I hear drifters... Ooh! Right there, apparently. Oh, you surprised me, buddy. You were a big shockaroony. Alright, thank you, sir, for your service. You have been a good drifter. You did your job splendidly. And now I'm going to go have a heart attack. Thank you very much. So, there we go. And there we go. Now, is that too thick? Aside from being literally too thick, is that too thick for this space? Oh no, I think it might be. I don't really like that. So what else could we do here instead? I think I'll think about it over a bite to eat. That was really quick. I haven't thought of anything yet. Whoops. Okay, so I'm a little undecided. From back here, it looks like it sort of makes sense, support-wise. As I get up here, it just gets all claustrophobic. And while I don't mind that normally, this is already a big space, so it feels kind of weird having a really crunched up little area like this. So, what I might do... I heard that. Oh, you're down here, aren't you? Ah, yes. What I might do is take this up, and we'll use some ebony vertical blocks, some of the planks, to build a central column right here that is basically one block in size, but right in the middle. And then we'll have to figure out how to attach our lanterns, or otherwise where to put them, because they're not quite going to fit in or on these pillars. I was going to just put them basically up here, but we can't quite do that in the same way with the sort of central pillars, so we'll figure something out. I might put like a little branchy thing up here and hang the lanterns from that, but we'll see. And I think this is much less claustrophobic than before. So even though we still have these sort of baffles as we come through these rows, I still think they are much better size for what they're doing. I do wish we could get the bark look on the interior of the blocks, but that isn't possible, so we will deal with what we have, and that's fine. Now, as far as these go, we can't, well, we can put them somewhat hanging from the roof. We can't put them on the sides of these blocks, fortunately. So we are going to have to find a better place to put them, a different place to put them. So let's go ahead and I'm going to chisel out just a little bit from one of these guys. I think it's going to be up of here, I think. Since we can't quite put these right in the middle, we're going to need to find a way to put them off of the sides without looking too funny. So we can fit this... Nope. That still goes there. Okay. I'll put you on a block. Oh, you go at the top. Oh, okay. So we could fit you right... Really, you still won't connect to there. Do I need a larger surface? There we go. Okay, so I do need the larger surface. That's fine. Now, how to make this look natural? That would be the trick. Let's tinker with this till we figure it out. So here is an example of what we could do. And this might require us to put maybe one lantern on either side, which is kind of a waste. But then again, we have some spares, and we can make some more. I do have more candles, I have more brass plates. That shouldn't be a problem, I don't think. Plus, it will make sure we're well lit over here. I think I'm going to go ahead and... yeah, we'll probably do this, actually. And I might put a smaller flange right at the bottom here. Nothing as elegant, because I don't want to be tripping over it. Maybe just sort of like a single line of blocks around the bottom here, on the 2x2. And yeah, let's go ahead and fill this in using this pattern. Let's do it. And so, with about 5 minutes of chisel work and a little bit of help with the workbench extended, we have 3 columns that keep this area very well lit, and I put one more lantern over here just for good luck. So I am happy how this came out, and I think what I want to do next is we should go ahead and... It's calm, so we should go ahead and start getting some silver plates ready. Now we need 1, 2, 3, 4 silver plates, so I think we should go ahead and just do that many rather than hammering out 1,000 of them, especially in case we need more silver for other things later. So, let's get that going on. But on the way, I think it would be prudent of us to figure out where our lanterns are going to go, because we want to light this path up. We want to have a lantern there. We should really have one somewhere here. Now this is going to eventually become a pagoda, and so I think I want to hang it from the ceiling when that's done. But for now it can go on the floor. That's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. And maybe that one can go there to help illuminate more of the bridge. So, on the way up here, we have a spot maybe right here that could use a lantern. And perhaps one on... You know what, we'll take this down and put a lantern in its place. Even though I think in the long run, maybe we'll put it here instead. Because I want to kind of plant something here, I think. And then we can do the same thing over here. And farther up, let's put one right about here. You know what? We'll put one right here. I don't really need this lit, and I don't really have a use for this space yet. But just in case we do want to come back to it, we'll have it there. And then finally, up here, we can finally light up this whole area. It has been needing it for a very, very long time. There we go. say make all your brass and all of your glass and candles disappear. Now, I could probably use some more up here as well. We'll start sparing up here, and we will just put one on each of these straight sections right in the middle. So, with that done, let's go ahead and get to the smelting, shall we? Okay, and now that we have our silver plates, we can install the silver linings. Do I think the lining's worth a full 2 ingots? Oh heck no. But I don't see any other option, although there is, I think, a mod that changes it. I'm not sure how reliable it is, though. But there we have... Ooh! We have a little jerk wandering through our house. Anybody else? We're gonna go with no. Now, with that saga over, I think it's time that we turn our attention to the edges of our little compound here, because we have some bare stone sticking out over top our little home. And I think what I want to do is, in order to keep the drifters from getting in, and I think they can from basically here, they can drop down from above and end up on top of the fence here. And what I want to do is I just want to add some basalt bricks to this edge along here. One to help sort of disguise this weird join on all these diagonals, as well as to help keep the drifters from falling into our little building. Little building, I call it. Here goes. And there we go. We now have a proper sandwich of basalt stuff and basalt. Cool. That brings us finally to this weird little space right here. This is going to be, I think, an interesting one, and by interesting I mean possibly troublesome, because it's a very strange space. So what we have here is a 3x3 or 5x5, however you look at it, section adjoining multiple areas that are sort of based on a 4x4 or 6x6 kind of design. So, for instance, right here we have a 4-block wide opening in a 6-block wide area that is 5 blocks long, or 6 depending on how you count. But if we were to, say, repeat this sort of design over here, we'd end up with a column that blocks this walkway here. And it would just stick out into the room more than the rest of these columns do. So the question then becomes, how do we handle this sort of discrepancy? I'm kind of leaning toward putting an extra pillar here, just to keep in line with the pillar on this side, even though it kind of makes this a bit offset. if we really wanted to sort of go the whole way, we could even fill this in a bit, but that might be overkill. And then to match that on this side, we want to go the 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks here to right there, and I would frame these guys nicely. And if we did bring this one in, we'd probably also want to do a repeat column there. Now that's kind of a lot of wood to ask for, especially given that it's ebony. And it does make that area look kind of thick, so I think we can get away with using a shovel rather than our hands, but I think we can get away with leaving these open and having this sort of pretend to be a 4x4 space, which might actually help it fit in a bit more, because of all the other 4x4 spaces we have all around the house. And I use the word house loosely. So I think what we'll do here is we might just bring in some of the basalt, like we normally would, to line this entryway here, and then bring in the ebony logs for columns in these two locations, and then fill in the floor and ceiling like we are out here, along with the ebony sort of crossbeam over here. And I think that should do it, honestly. I think that's sort of exactly what we need to go in here. And then we'll sort of decorate the space. We'll at least do this wall, bearing in mind that we really shouldn't do any chiseled blocks in any of these walls here. So we're probably going to have to use full blocks of ebony and the sandstone for all of these walls in here. So first let's go ahead and grab a few of these. That should do. And we're going to go ahead and then tear out these few blocks up here. And I see what I just did. I just left a spawning spot in the dark right there because we apparently had a granite stone on top of that. So, to get around that, we will just head up there, and once this is all said and done, we will stick 2 more pieces of granite down after busting through the stairs. But for now, let's go ahead and bring this across to, yeah, we'll do there, and then down. Then we'll get some of these basalt blocks. Actually, no, we'll use the small ones. The cheap ones. And we'll just fit them in here. Like so. And then the interior here will be more kapok, I think. Or, since this is kind of a funny space, maybe we should do something different with this. What could we do in here that would be different? Maybe we could bring in some of... Oh, you know what we could do? We could bring in some of our bauxite and other interesting colors, and maybe do something cool right here. What if we made these also basalt? Then we're going to want some more for these 4, plus this one right here, and maybe even some inside this room. So yeah, I think right here would be a great spot for something different. So what if we did something like this? And we had some, oops, purple heart on the edges there. What do we think of that? Is that too colorful? Is that too much? I don't know, I kind of like it. It's like a little sun on the floor, honestly. I think it's fun. Let's keep it for now. And as for the ceiling, I think we just want to come through probably with some pretty standard sandstone brick slabs. Let's go ahead and get this out of here, and then we'll fill it in. And actually, now that I think about it, what we could do instead is we could bring some of this ceiling into this area and bring some of the red on the floor into the ceiling. That might be a better option, actually. So let's put away some of this stuff. And let's get out some acacia. Let's fill these in with, we'll do some full blocks along the edges, and then probably just 4 slabs in the center. There we go. I think that's quite pleasant. I like it. Now, as for decorating this space, I kind of wanted to bring in some more greenery. Here we go. We only have 2 regular planters left. I'm a little loath to use the loam ones, so I think we should just go ahead and let's make a couple more planters and fire them up here. Yeah, I know we have a big old open kiln area downstairs, but this is just so much closer. For small jobs, at least. Okay, so while these are still cooking up, and I did sleep through the night, while these are still cooking up, I think I want to tackle this wall right here, and specifically this wall. And I don't really care about this one just yet, because we are not doing the hallway at the moment, but I want to get this space complete. Now, I know in an episode long ago, in I think 1.16 point something, I gave a warning about not using chiseled blocks as part of cellars. I think we can kind of break that rule a bit, because that seems to be more pertinent to letting light in, specifically sunlight, and we are far enough from the edge of anywhere here that I don't think we're getting any sunlight, at least on these blocks here. So I want to tinker with it and see if we can in fact use a bit of chisel blocks, as long as we keep them at full blocks. Because I want to see if we can get some wood on the outside while having stone on the inside, and using stone blocks to basically keep this whole place sealed up. Now currently, our power speed on other, that's what I'm going to go by, is 0.27 with the door open, or 0.26 with it closed. So we'll do our testing with the door closed, and note that we are at 0.26. So let's go ahead here, and I'm going to get us some sandstone full blocks. Let's grab a few of these, maybe not that many. So let's get these guys out of here. Now we're at 0.99x, no surprise there. But now if we add these back in, these should update pretty quickly, I think. Yep, back to our standard. So what happens then if I chisel that, and that, and these guys? That's right. So we're using full stone blocks here, full-size stone blocks. I think we can get away with this a bit. Yes, let's see what we can do. I want to get some of the ebony in here, specifically on these 3 blocks here. So what if we move you? So did adding those change this at all? Nope, still 0.26. What if I tap that? Still 0.26. Okay, I think we might be okay here. Look at that. We have a nice fancy exterior wall. Well, fancy. It's made of sandstone bricks. And then we have sandstone interior, and we have perfectly preserved food. Or as close as we can get here. I call that a success. I am pretty happy with that. Okay, well, I'm going to wait till these planters are done, and then we will finish up decorating and call it a wrap. I have a lot to prepare for the world tour, so I'm going to get started on that pretty darn soon. Okay, it seems like our planters are ready for us, so let's grab them. And let's go get a small selection of plants to put in them. We'll drop them here, and here, and here, and here. And I think let's do at least 2 acacia trees. And then from our flower bin, let's grab... Ooh, we could do a cactus for an interesting splash of a different color. And maybe some more cornflower. Because we always could use some more blue around here, couldn't we? I think let's put you in there, our cornflower there. That way we can sort of see it from this side as well. Well, maybe. Yeah, we can see it a little bit from over here and from in here, just to give a bit more blue to every angle. Then in these opposing 2 corners we will have our acacia trees. You know what? I'm not sure that this guy fits. I don't think, you know, as much as I like these cacti, I don't think it quite fits the vibe here. Let's try something else. Okay, let's start with... Let's do some woad. I don't know. It's okay. We could also try some orange mallow. That's kind of too small, I think. If it was taller, I think I'd like it. We also have more golden poppies, which I love them, but we have tons of them in here, so that might... I mean, it really does fit. I just hope we can find something else to put in here. We also have some deer fern. I kind of like that. It's not too bad. We also have the papyrus root. You know what? I think I'm going to go with... So you match the cobblestone too much. I think we're going to go with the poppy again, actually. Yeah. Oh, there is one more type of decoration we really haven't touched on. That is mushrooms, but we don't have any mushrooms to plant, I don't think. Let's check in here. Ooh, we do... Oh, they're spoiling. We haven't dabbled in mushrooms for planting yet, but it is possible, I think. Yeah, okay. So I don't necessarily like the lobster mushrooms because they match the floor too much, but we could find some mushrooms nearby maybe in the future and maybe plant in here for some different color. So for now, we will leave the poppies in, and maybe eventually in the future we will bring some other mushrooms. Yeah, I think this is a pretty big success. We have filled out a couple spaces. We've completed this room with the doorways and the decorations, and cleaning out all of the other odds and ends, including moving our quern up here where it's out of the way. And then we very much cleaned up the floor in here, adding the silver linings to these lanterns and hanging those. We also lined the trail up to our forge with some lanterns. We have a serious audience over here. We now have very fancy pillars holding up the mountain right over here, and they are well lit with bronze lanterns on either side. And now we have this little walkthrough area and fancier walls for our cellar. So I am very happy with that progress. Anyway, everyone, that is about all the time we have for this episode of the Vintage Story Guide. I hope you enjoyed putting together all of the small things that needed to be done before the World Tour. The World Tour, of course, is the next episode, being episode 100, so look forward to a review of all the things we've done since episode 51. And that does mean that we're going to be going back to Lupine Ridge, which we haven't seen in a very, very long time. As always, my name has been Corazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.